Hello, everyone, and welcome to Kryptonite. So let's dive in.
If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel, and if you like the video at the end, click on the thumbs up.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Kryptonite, the crypto investor channel. I am Boris. Today, we're going to be going over with Colton on exchanges. So let's dive in. Colton, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Boris. How you doing today?
Good. So go ahead. Let's go and go over some questions about exchanges.
Yeah, as you guys know, I'm fairly new to crypto, so I have some questions about all the exchanges out there. So I'm gonna ask Boris about 10 questions here, and he will respond, and then he'll add his 2 cents at the end to whatever else he would like to ask. So my first question for you, Boris, is I know there's a bunch of crypto exchanges out there, and it varies, but what currencies do they include? Does everyone have the same currencies? Are they different, etc.?
Some of the larger ones like Coinbase or Binance, they allow you to actually use some of the largest cryptocurrencies out there, such as US dollar, euro, British pound, a few others like Australian dollars, I believe. And so after that, you have, of course, local exchanges that might be using the more local currencies for the smaller countries. But if you open a Coinbase account in Europe, you're going to be in euro. If you open a US Coinbase account, you're going to be in US dollars. So they do adapt to the local currencies, at least the major ones.
Okay, that makes sense. And my second question to that is can I change fiat to crypto and vice versa? Can I put crypto to fiat inside the exchanges?
Yes, of course. As soon as you take fiat into the exchange, you can buy crypto with it. And whenever you sell your cryptos, you usually have a few choices. Either you can sell it back to fiat or you can sell it to stable coins. We just did a video recently about stable coins. And most of the time, the great thing about, especially if you're going to be leaving that money in the crypto world, whether on an exchange or on a wallet, etc., you're going to be able to have and receive usually great interest rate on the stable coins. You won't be getting any interest, or rarely are you going to get any interests on actual fiat currencies. So most people tend to, once they sell a crypto, let's say you buy some Bitcoin with some US dollars, if you sell those Bitcoins later on, usually most people tend to sell it back in stable coin instead of selling it back in US dollars. But you do have that option as well. Let's say that you need some money because you're going to put a down payment on the house and you're going to sell some Bitcoins. You can sell those Bitcoins to US dollars. And of course, from having those US dollars, you can transfer them back to a regular bank account, for instance.
Okay, and we're talking about sending money back and forth. What payment methods are accepted for these exchanges? Do I have to have a credit card? Do I use my banking account? Do I use my debit card? How can I put money into these exchanges?
So you can use credit cards, but it's rarely a great idea, except maybe crypto.com, which I believe still do give you free credit card buying, meaning you can buy using a credit card and there is no fees for buying with a credit card. But most of the others, like Coinbase or Binance or whatever, they're going to charge you pretty hefty premiums. I mean, I believe that Coinbase, it is 3.99% for someone buying with a credit card. If you were to just do a wire transfer, wiring money is usually free, or if there is a fee, it is really, really small. It might be just a few dollars. So of course, if you're only transferring $100 and they charge you even $3, that's 3%. So that's not very good. But if you sending, $5,000 or $10,000 onto an exchange and they charge you $3 for that transaction, it's much better than 3.99, basically 4%. So besides crypto.com, all the others, they're going to charge you quite a bit. But sending the money, it's usually pretty easy. Coinbase, for instance, they use Plaid, which is a system that hooks to your bank account and it does an ACH. And ACH are pretty much free, so that there's no fee to deposit money onto the account. So I would say the best way is to do either a wire transfer or an exchange with your bank account rather than using credit cards.
Okay, that makes sense. And you kind of answered my next question, which is, what are the fees on these exchanges? And I don't expect you to know every, exchange, but, do you got like an average of what, to expect when you're taking money out or putting money in, what the fees are?
Sure. So sending fiat and getting fiat back, usually small fee, very small fee, wire transfer fee. But the biggest fees you're going to see on an exchange usually is when you buy crypto, because there are two types of fees, and you can find those very easily online, and you can see the rates, and you can compare the rates, between all of them, between Coinbase, between Binance, Coinbase versus Binance versus Gate.io versus Qcoin versus Voyager versus a few other, and they are really two things to know. You have the takers and the makers. And what's the difference between taker fees and maker fees? Taker fees is whenever you buy at market price, meaning that let's say Bitcoin right now is at $62,000 and you say, okay, buy it at market. So it will buy at whatever the price is, which of course varies, every seconds. And the problem of being a taker, it's more expensive. They charge you higher fees. So, for instance, on some exchange, you might be charged 0.2%, for being a taker. And if you were a maker, you might get it for 0.1%. You see all those fees, and the big difference really is takers, it's at market prices. Maker fees are people that are using what's called limit orders, where you put in a specific price and you say, okay, I want to buy Bitcoin at 60,000 or 61,995. Now, of course, if let's say Bitcoin is at 62,000 and that day it doesn't drop, but it keeps actually on going up and up and up and up, your order is never going to get filled. Now, if the price dips just a little bit and it reaches your price and it's at that point able to fulfill the order, the advantage is, one, you're going to get a slightly better price because you decided to put it at a lower price. And the fee itself will be much lower. So that's really the one thing you want to pay attention on all those exchanges. Usually they also do a volume discount, meaning that if you only buy on a monthly basis $10,000 or $1,000 worth of crypto, the taker fee might be 0.2 and then 0.15 for if you're a maker. But as you do more and more transactions, you're going to see that the fees get lower and lower, to the point that sometimes if you get to $100,000 a month, their fee for makers might be zero. So basically you have no fee. So you are able to lower the fee. So you really want to compare. It's very easy to find this online. There are lots of sites that put, all the things side by side and with the different levels that you can buy them at. And it can save you quite a bit of money because, obviously on $1,000, 0.2% is not a killer. But if you are starting to invest large amounts of money in the tens, in the hundreds, maybe in the millions, if you're lucky enough to have millions, you're going to be starting paying more and more fees. And the fees can be also pretty big in difference from one exchange to another. I've seen exchanges charging 1.5%. versus other exchange charging 0.2%. So we're talking a difference of 1.3% in the fees. So, of course, if you're doing $100,000, you're talking about $1,300 difference in price to buy the exact same thing.
Yep.
So you definitely want to shop around the fees. What I know from what I've seen and from experience, Binance is one of the better ones for the fees. Now in the US, they're a little bit more limited. Unfortunately, for the rest of the world, most countries can use Binance pretty easily. Qcoin has got some good deals. Coinbase Pro is not too bad, but regular Coinbase, watch out. The fees are very high as well, over 1%. And then some of the others, Gate.io is pretty good as well. So there are definitely that's a big thing whenever you're looking at an exchange and which one you're going to go with. You definitely want to look at what their fees are, and I just explained so you'll understand what taker is and what maker is.
Yep, and to put my own 2 cents in on this, I recently invested some money into Coinbase. My suggestion to you guys is to put your money directly into Coinbase Pro. Don't go through Coinbase. Go directly to Coinbase Pro. That's just from personal experience. But I'm going to jump to my next question to Boris. But remember, put your money into Coinbase Pro first. Don't go Coinbase first. That's just from personal experience. My next question, Boris, is, most of the people, they like to have a mobile app. Do these exchanges have a mobile version as well as along with the web application?
Yeah, they all do have one, but they're definitely not created equal. If you see some Coinbase Pro, first of all, it's 2 different apps. They're actually pretty easy to navigate, especially Coinbase, even though, like you said, it's probably not what you want to use because it's easy to use, but the fees are very high. Binance got one. Now Binance is very advanced. Now it's so advanced that they even made a kind of a easy mode for people that just want to do simple trading and they're not into all the other things, because literally there are lots and lots of options, because they do trading, they do staking, they do loans, they do savings, they do so many things on Binance. It's very, very advanced. So yes, they all have one. The cool thing on all of them, it's ideal for whenever you want to check your portfolio and you want to, let's say if you leave the money on the exchange, quite a few people do that, especially at first, especially if the amount is not too big. People tend to leave the money on the exchange, and it's very easy to see your position at any given moment, and it gets updated live. I mean, you see the numbers like rotating live because of the price of crypto changing all the time. Even if you have like 10 different cryptocurrencies, it will calculate all those cryptos live all the time, so you see the number going up or down on a constant basis. So that's, but it makes it very easy, to do trading on those apps. At the end, I think a lot of people, probably the majority of people out there, whether traders or investors, maybe not professional traders, but, amateur traders and investors, most of them do everything on the app. They rarely go to the main site.
Gotcha. That makes sense. And to kind of, I guess, piggyback off that question, and it's kind of a 2-part question here, is how do these exchanges keep my funds safe? And along with that, is there customer support available within these exchanges if I needed to give them a call, send an email, send a chat, etc.?
So as far as keeping the money safe, they really have multiple mechanisms in place to make sure that everything is as safe as possible. One of the things that they mainly do, let's say that a Coinbase or Binance, they hold, just as an example, this is not a real figure, but let's say they hold 1 million Bitcoins, total for everybody. they're not leaving that million Bitcoin sitting on their servers. That million Bitcoin, they're going to take 95% of that million Bitcoin, 950,000 Bitcoins, they're going to put it in cold storage where it's very safe, cannot be reached by anybody. And then they're going to keep 50,000 Bitcoins on the exchange so they have some liquidity. So if people are buying, selling, they need to be liquid, a little bit like a branch of a bank. They don't keep millions and billions of dollars in the safe. They keep maybe, $500,000 or whatever, so that people coming and taking some money out, they have some liquidity, but they don't keep all the money, inside a branch. So it's the same thing. So that's one thing to make things safe. So in case of an attack, maybe at the very worst, they might lose 5% of all their holdings. So that is one big safe mechanism. Second of all, they are usually insured. The big ones, not the smaller exchange, but the really big ones, the Binance, the Coinbase of the world, those have insurance. And because also they're a gigantic company and they're pretty rich at this point, and they don't want to lose their reputation, most of the time the attacks are small. Sometimes it's because people haven't put enough security on their accounts. Sometimes it might have been a small breach that a hacker discovered and was able to steal just a few coins. And, it seems a lot of money to you and I to say they stole $5 or they stole $20 million. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not that much money. Now, those attacks, especially on the Coinbase, Binance, are very extremely, extremely rare. But when they do happen, 99% of the time, they're going to reimburse everybody because they don't want the bad publicity of saying like, oh yeah, money is not safe with Coinbase. So they have insurance programs. So having the money on those is, considered fairly safe. But the ultimate that everybody always says in crypto, not your keys, not your crypto, basically you need to have, that is the best and the most secure way of holding your cryptos, is to actually have a wallet. There are multiple different versions of wallets. You have the Ledger, you have Atomic. We discussed those in previous videos. Lots of different wallets out there. And you're the only one who basically hold that wallet. And so you have the custody of your own coins. I think not everybody knows that. People that have been in crypto for a while probably remember Mt. Gox, which was back in 2013 or 2014, got a major attack, and everybody, the exchange basically just blew up, so to speak. Everybody lost their holdings. So the attacks was so severe and they stole so much money that they were bankrupt, and overnight they were not operating anymore and people could not access their coins. And so people lost fortunes during that attack. So that's why most people say the best way to hold your money is to have it in a private wallet. Now, this also comes with a risk. There are also stories out there with people losing the keys to their wallet and not being able to get back into it, and they know they got, $50,000 worth of specific cryptocurrency that's sitting in a wallet. They just don't have the password anymore to get in, and they just can. There's no one to call. So that's sometimes another thing. So it's a different balance. I mean, it's really, I think, everybody's choice, to say, hey, do I want to trust a big company like Coinbase, or no, I'd rather have the crypto sitting in my own private wallet, but knowing that I'm the last line of defense. If I lose keys, if I don't have stuff backed up the proper way and I lose it, I could lose it all as well. So you got to be a little bit careful with that. Now, on the second part of your question, that was for the customer support. I mean, it's not good. Out there, Coinbase, and I've experienced with a lot of them, Coinbase, Binance, Voyager, I mean, all those guys, they have a lot of room to grow. I mean, from a scale from 1 to 10, they're pretty much all at 1, so
Gotcha.
they can improve tremendously. The biggest complaint that everybody sees is how long it takes. You send an email, and I've done it several times, either requesting for higher limits where I can either buy more or send more or receive more, whatever, asking for high limits, or I have a problem with one of the wallet, or I didn't receive my money. I sent it from one thing to another exchange, from one exchange to another, or whatever, and I didn't receive the money. And I mean, they can literally take days if you're lucky. Sometimes it could be weeks. It's very, very slow. Now, there are a few exceptions out there. Gate.io, I got a great experience with them. Something happened to me on a Sunday one time. I wrote to them. They literally wrote back within 20 minutes. And
Wow.
I said, well, this is what I need. They said, okay, send us a picture of yourself holding your passport, holding a piece of paper saying what you want us to do, like a post-it with what you want us to do. And I sent that picture right away. And literally 30 minutes later, the problem was fixed.
Oh, wow.
So that was amazing. Another great experience I got was My Container. So I'm basically, giving some credit to some of the exchange or staking companies where it's due. Definitely My Container, which I did a video about them the other day. Great for staking certain coins. They pay you quite a bit, quite a lot. Same problem. I sent money, and that was something I didn't know. You got to be careful when sometimes you send certain cryptocurrencies. They ask you, which protocol do you want to use? And that is a little tricky for people that are beginners. And I'm not a beginner, but I didn't realize, I assumed wrongly that the wallet I was sending from was a ERC20 wallet. And I believe, actually, I thought it was a Polygon wallet, and it was actually an ERC20 wallet. And so, of course, there is no bridge, so it cannot work. It's like Sonny sending the money into oblivion. It's gone. So I did contact My Container, and I said, guys, I sent some polygons, and it's been 20 hours. I mean, they should have been there way before that. They said, let me look into it. It was on a Saturday morning. They looked into it right away. 10 minutes later, an email, it's fixed. It will take 1 to 2 hours to show up on the account. And sure enough, an hour later, the polygons were there. So I made the mistake of sending into the wrong blockchain, because I didn't know that the receiving on their end was a Polygon wallet, but I didn't know that on the other side it was an ERC20, which is basically Ethereum. So it was just on the wrong blockchain, but they were able, and I also did, because it was coming, I guess, from Gate.io or something like that, and I contacted Gate, and they said, like, no, this money has been sent. It's received on the other side. Contact the other side. They're the one who can fix it for you. So so they were quick also to respond that time again. And then talking to My Container, fixed it very quickly. So sometimes you're lucky. There are a few that are getting better. Coinbase has got a ton of money, and they are swearing up and down that they are going to hire and improve greatly their tech support. So we shall see. So far, most people still complain a lot about Coinbase support, because most of the people haven't got great experiences with them. So it really depends on the exchange.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And that's kind of expected, just like any other business, it depends. My last question, and you kind of maybe answered it earlier, but do I need a separate wallet? For example, do I need a separate wallet for Bitcoin, for Polygon, for these exchanges, or is it one wallet and it can hold all of it?
So every single crypto you own will have usually its own wallet, but some of them are compatible, and they're using, like I was saying, ERC20, or some of them are using Binance, or using a similar blockchain. So sometimes you might have 3 or 4 coins that when you go to the wallets, you see the exact same address on the wallet, even though you're like, well, that's my, that's my polka dot coins, that's my Ethereum wallet, that's, so different crypto wallets. But what's funny is when you go look at the address, you're like, man, it's all the same. Yeah, because they're relying on the same blockchain, like ERC20, for instance. So sometimes they might have the same address, sometimes they don't, because they're operating on different blockchains. However, inside an exchange or inside an actual wallet, like a Ledger or Atomic Wallet or Exodus or whatever, they'll be separated. I mean, they're not going to be all compiled together. So you will see your your different cryptos well, neatly separated. So you see the balance. You always see how many coins you have and what the value is, usually in US dollars or whatever value you're using for the fiat. But they will display in both. It will display both the fiat value and the crypto, the number of coins that you hold. So that's the thing. Now you got to be aware. So be careful about a few things when sending or receiving money and giving your address to someone so they can send you coins. Making sure that they are on the same blockchain. So you need to look at the protocol. Sometimes if you're not sure, you can look it up online to say like, hey, in that exchange, they don't precise what it is, but do you know what it is? Is it BEP or is it ERC20 or is it, another blockchain? And some of them have 2 pieces of information that you need. I'll give you an example. XRP, for instance, you'd need the XRP wallet address. And then there's a second set of numbers, which is called a tag. And you need that tag very often. Sometimes they don't require the tag. Sometimes they do require the tag. It depends on which wallet or which exchange you use. So sometimes there are 2 pieces of information that you need to provide to do, to send or receive coins. So pay good attention on which blockchain you're sending, and paying attention on if you need only the wallet address, which is the case for usually ERC20 only requires just the wallet address. But some others, it's not just XRP. There are a few other coins out there that they are going to need a second number, second piece of information. The wallet address alone is not enough, and if you don't provide that second piece of information, you will not get the coins. So be careful with that.
No, again, that was my last question, but you kind of brought something up to my attention. You said earlier you need to keep track of all these codes and everything from the wallets to these exchanges. Do you have, any remedy? What do you do to keep all your codes safe? Do you put it inside, a bank, there, or do you have a safe at home? Where are you putting these codes so that you feel safe and confident that you'll have access and not be like these people who can't access?
So you mean for like your passwords and the Google authenticator? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then all the password, the phrases
because,
for you.
Yeah, because you just said you would have to create a separate wallet. That's a lot of passwords and a lot of stuff you have to keep track of. You've been doing this. Do you have any remedy?
Now, if you're inside, let's say Atomic, you have 10 wallets because you have 10 cryptos, but you only have one single access thing. Like you have, you're not creating 10 Atomic different things. They are all inside your Atomic wallet, a little bit like sub-wallets, or a little bit like once you log into your bank, you see your regular bank, your checking account, your savings account, maybe your trading account if you trading or whatever. So you see all your accounts. So here the
Yes.
same. You log in just once and you see all those different crypto wallets inside one
Yep.
single interface.
Okay, that makes sense.
However, it's a good question. Good thing you brought in is you still might have 2, 3 exchange you're dealing with. You might be dealing with 2 or 3 different wallets. So a good way to, which is also maybe not a bad idea, to actually deal with a few different a few different exchange and a few different wallets. Sometimes an exchange might be down, especially when it's really heavy time or the Bitcoin is going through the roof and everybody wants to buy in or sell whatever, and you try to go to Coinbase and you get an error message saying like Coinbase is down right now. So you're like, oh shoot, I have everything at Coinbase. At least if I had 2 or 3 different exchanges, now sometimes there are multiple exchanges down at the same time because activity is through the roof and they can't take the load. So, but having a few at least might allow you, like, you're like, oh man, the price is going, I know it's going up. It's time to buy because I know it's going to go much higher, whatever. Or you want to sell because you're like, oh my God, this is going really way high. I want to take some profit. So having a few exchange, a few wallets might not be a bad idea for that reason. So let's say you have 3 exchange and 3 wallets. Problem is, that's a lot of passwords, usernames, codes, key phrases for Google Authenticator, etc., etc. And you want that information safe because obviously it's very important. What if you lose your phone? What if your computer breaks down? You want to be able to get a new phone, get a new computer, and restore everything, in the blink of an eye. So if you save all that stuff onto your computer and your computer dies, that's going to be a big problem. So the best way that I think is out there to keep that information safe, one, buy yourself a stone book. Well, one of those books where actually the paper is made of stone. It's called stone paper. I mean, obviously it's not, it's basically they take stone, they make it into a powder, and the powder, they make it into paper, basically. And it has a big advantage. One, it's waterproof. So if there was water damage in the house, let's say you put that into a safe inside your home, for instance, and you have water damage, it's going to be resistant to water. It will not tear apart. It'll do nothing, basically. It'll be just in great shape. Now, it is not fire resistant. It is more like fire retardant, or like it's going to delay the effects of fire. So it won't burn as easy as paper. It can burn, but it's not burning as easy. And so you want to write down those information in that little notebook. And the reason is that it is offline. So that's a great advantage. Having this thing offline is no hacker can get into that book because it is completely offline. If it is sitting on your computer in a TXT file that's totally unprotected or whatever, problem is if a hacker gets into your computer, might be able to steal all those codes, and that would be a big problem as well. So the safest way is to put those information in that book, and then if you want to be extra safe, you're going to have one at home in either a hiding place or into a safe if you have a good safe, or you could also have a second copy in a bank safe, somewhere in a bank. Now, those don't necessarily cost a whole lot, so you would have 2 copies in case of a big problem, like mega fire into your house and everything is destroyed. You're like, well, good thing I had a second copy, at the bank or whatever. So when it comes to crypto, I mean, you really want to be on the safe side. So that's the same with ledger keys. You can easily have several copies of the ledger key.
Yeah,
That's making it very safe as well.
and you're seeing a lot more stories with crypto becoming so prominent of these people not remembering their keys from 7 years ago, and they got a lot of money in there. So yeah, you don't want that.
You don't want to be that guy. That's for sure.
Yeah. But from my side, Boris, that was all the questions that I had today. I really appreciate it. It really helped me understand the exchanges a lot more. I'm sure we'll have another one down the line when I get a little bit more advanced. But, for the basics, thank you very much.
All right, very good. Well, thank you, Colton. Thank you, everyone, and join us on the next video of Crypto Night. Thank you. Bye-bye. I hope this video helps. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.
If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel, and if you like the video at the end, click on the thumbs up.